All right. Here we go. I don't know why I did that because now I have a headache. All right. Hey everyone, my name's Drunken Glean. Welcome to the channel. If you're a first-time subscriber, you're probably not, then you should subscribe and like down below. Anyway, I'm gonna be doing a quick DD5 final video to tell you about what I did and also the newest version, which is 6.1 with the best tunes. Okay, so real quick, well, let's do a recap, all right? So when it comes to my tunes, all right, these are the main ones I recommend. I'm gonna do this real fast, guys and gals. So definitely when it comes to Morgan Le Fay, this is the absolute best character in the game and the best for not only the unrestricted nodes, but also the legendary nodes. All right, she has the best sustain in the entire game. So she is the #1 pick. Okay, outside of her, what else do I recommend? So definitely not Wong, but okay, this is not sorting well, but let's just do this. Let's just do City. Let's do City, all right, shall we? So when it comes to City tunes, I definitely recommend Shang-Chi. I just took him to 7-7. He kicks ass, literally kicks ass. He does so much damage, and his ult every 3 turns, you can reuse it. Amazing, definitely amazing character. Other City characters, right? If you have the uniques, it's all about uniques. It's all about resource management. If you have Dagger that you can bring up, as well as Cloak, you should definitely do that. And at the same time, Scarlet Spider, right? Scarlet Spider, as well as what's the other spider? Gwen, Ghost Spider. So good, so good. Also because they are a lot cheaper than the symbiotes. If you're still thinking about symbiotes, stop right now, okay? And turn around and go after Web Warriors. Outside of that, I took, yeah, that's about it. I took, outside the legendaries, I took 5 characters. Would I recommend anybody else? Let me just see, anybody else? Okay, we gotta talk about Spider-Woman. I think that she will be completely dominating DD5. Why? It's because, look at this, look at this. She does so much. She does defense down for 2 turns, right? And that's basically just like SSM, Symbiote Spider-Man, but better because she also does ability block, as well as heal block and offense down. So when you get this skill off the ground, everything's going to come to the screeching halt. So I really think that this is one of those characters where you're just like, should I bring her to DD5? I think you should. I actually don't know what or how many T16 gear pieces she needs, but I'm assuming it's going to be around 4 to 5. Might be worth it. Might be worth it versus Dagger, because when you have to actually get Mystic gear for Cloak and Dagger, that hurts, right? And she's a bio character. There's not a lot of bio characters that you want to bring to DD5, so I definitely recommend her if you're thinking about it. All right, let's move on. So let's go to global nodes. So what did I do for global? All right, so I took, okay, definitely not Echo, don't do that. Okay, I just had Echo at 7-7, I bought her T16 later on, but I took Captain Sam, all right? He's incredible. If you're gonna bring 2 skill characters, bring Captain Sam, and I recommend Maria Hill. It's because of this skill, right? It's about bringing NPCs onto the playing field so that the enemy can target them and you don't get targeted, the main 5 characters. So this is amazing, like she's amazing. Even though Sharon Carter's really good, she can do, you know, stun, ability block, all that jazz. But the thing is, I still think Maria also has the heal, right? She has the heal as well as, you know, the NPC. So this is an amazing character. I don't recommend bringing 3 skill characters because you're gonna be strapped for skill gear. So anybody else do I recommend? Oh, by the way, global MVP was Lady Deathstrike for me. You need to T4 all of her gear. She does so much damage, and it's not immediate damage, right? It's over time, it's bleeds. And this is why we all know that once you T4 one of her skills, the bleeds actually hurt a lot more. And this is the thing, like especially when it comes to her ult, when I get her ult down, right, it just goes off and you see all these bleed icons, you feel like a badass. And the next turn, somebody's gonna just pass out because of all the bleeds. Pass out. aka die. So so outside of that, Wolverine, because he only took I think 2 or 3 T16 pieces, so I had enough of I think was it adamantium. It was so easy to bring him into T16. So I recommend him or Sabretooth, depending on which uniques that you have. It's all about resources. Again, bleeds are what you need for DD5. I don't think any other content creator talked about bleeds, but bleeds does so much damage, right? It's percentage damage. So who else did I bring? I think that was about it. Like recently, I've been testing out Wong. He's okay. He's pretty good. You know, he's a good protector. Who else? Dr. Doom. That's right. I almost forgot Dr. Doom. Can't forget him. Except he cost a lot. He cost an arm and a leg. So if you can actually afford this character, definitely recommend it, right? Because he's absolutely amazing in every other game mode. But you need both Mystic and Tech gear. So again, look at your resources, use that spreadsheet for DD5 and see if you have enough. And if you have enough, bring Doom, definitely. Echo, surprisingly, so I want to talk about Echo. I've been using her in my 3rd run DD5. She's been actually pretty decent. She does so much damage, right? Especially at 7-7. Look at this, 63,000. Okay, almost 64,000 at 7-7. That's insane. Except she's slow as molasses. I'll tell you that, man. Look at this speed, 98. All right, I haven't even seen speed that slow since I don't know, since the 60s. So when it comes to her damage, it's amazing, right? When you actually can get it off, right? That sounded dirty, but once you get her skills working off, she does so much damage. And depending on if you are focused on Young Avengers for the next Scourge event for Famine, she might be worth it if you have the gear. Because she is, again, skill, so you get a balance between the other 2 skill characters that you want to bring. All right, so moving on, let's go to Cosmic. Cosmic, not costumes. Cosmic. So when it comes to Cosmic, this is who I brought. So originally, Icarus and Circe, definitely the top 2 tunes for sustainability and damage, and control. Right, so definitely recommend them. I mean, I know this is going to take a while to actually get all the gear pieces for Mystic, because Mystic, we have a huge Mystic crunch, right, for the last couple patches. And of course, for me, I actually did not take Kestrel into DD5 because I didn't have her uniques. So instead, I took good old Gamora. Gamora is still very, very excellent, right? Sure, she's skill, if you have enough skill, mini uniques, but I had enough of uniques for her, so I brought her up versus Kestrel, and she does so much damage once she gets empowered. So she's one of my semi-MVPs, I would say, because she also respawns. So if you already invested a lot into her, you might as well bring her up if it's faster. So it depends on the speed. Do you want to wait for Kestrel for me? Because this is also skill. Whoop, that's Circe. Do you also want to wait for Kestrel? Or do you want to just go all in on Gamora? For me, I actually think Gamora did pretty well. Because when it comes to Kestrel, she's sort of a glass cannon when it comes to a lot in certain things, right? Especially in DD5, especially with Miss Marvel, coming in with the assist. She's gonna get slapped around silly, and then she's not gonna be ping with her passive. So that's something to consider. If you have enough for Kestrel, definitely bring her in, right? Because she's still a top character. She's starting to not be as effective outside of the other nodes. As well as, the other gameplay modes, but she's still a top character. So anybody else recommend? Ravagers, definitely, okay? Especially this tune, Ravager Stitcher. He only costs 2 T16 gear pieces, and in the Ravagers team, he completely dominates, right? Watch McMole's video when basically he just goes pew pew and destroys a character, and they just He's decent in DD5. I wouldn't say he's amazing because he doesn't have all of the other buffs, but he also heals for 20% every single couple turns, right? What is it, 3 turns? So he's a really good healer for the global nodes. So definitely recommend him, as well as Cha-Cha. Cha-Cha, after you get him to T16, he's actually decent. He's still a glass cannon, But this, right, the special really helps in DD5 for control, especially when towards the global node, boss node, the third node. This came in handy quite often. So definitely recommend these two. So that's what I took. Would I recommend any other tunes these days? Actually, I think that Doctor Strange Heartless, aka Evil Doctor Strange, is incredible. He does so much damage, especially if you can actually put a bunch of negative effects on characters. He just dominates with his ult. So I heard good things. I think, especially because Darkhold team is the dominant force now, you should definitely try to T16 this character. So outside of that, I was thinking about Phyla-Vell, but I didn't have enough of her T16 gear because this actually, I think it conflicted with a bunch of other characters that I wanted to bring up. So what about Captain Marvel? Because A-Force is a new thing this patch. I don't know. I actually don't know. Nobody's really talked about whether or not she's good, but the thing is she does so much damage. Right? Does she have enough sustain in life? I don't think so, right? I have her at what, 4-7, and she only has 340k worth of health. I think she's going to be better outside of DD5. I'm sure she's going to be amazing in A-Force. So yeah, not recommended. Anybody else? Deathpool. I mean, if you have the mats materials, but no, because she costs a lot. As well as her unique, right, miasma. You need to consider if you want to bring Adam Warlock to DD5, but I didn't bring her up because she was also another mystic character. There's way too many mystics that you need to bring up. Outside of that, some people brought Moondragon. I think she's okay, but again, another scale character. So if you have enough skill gear, especially this patch, because there's been a bunch of new skill characters, she's no longer that relevant. So, okay, moving on. I think that's about it. Now going to Legendary. There we go. Okay, like I mentioned earlier, MILF, MLF, if you don't bring her into, DD5, you're missing out. Focus on MLF. This is the #1 character, especially outside of DD5. She is dominant in every single game mode. Especially, I'm actually really excited about Cosmic Crucible coming out in the next 2 or 3 days. And she's going to be the best character. She still is, in my opinion, the best character in the game right now. So definitely bring her in. What I actually brought Dr. Octopus. He was okay, he does the heals and also he summons. So there's somebody else to attack for the enemies. So he's okay. Jubes. I mean, people say that Jube is really good. I think that she's a glass cannon. She barely controls the playing field, especially. I mean, she sometimes actually resists. All the characters resist her stun. So I mean, she's okay. The blinds do actually offer a lot of use. But again, if you just have to keep her alive, and I don't know how in DD5. If she gets smacked around, you got to restart DD5 legendary node. So she was sort of a liability. So I used her as a secondary character after, I think I alternated between her and Black Bolt, because Black Bolt also is a semi-liability. He does a lot of damage, which is great, but he's still a glass cannon, right? So I think the pings in DD5 are incredible. His burps, very, very, very good, especially for a lot of the summons, right? I think there's a node where there's a bunch of, shield minions coming on, and this helped a lot. So I think, yeah, especially now, right? Black Bolt's back. Black Bolt's back, baby, right? For Inhumans for the next Scourge event. So definitely think about bringing him to T16. I brought Ebony Maw at the very last minute because I didn't have enough for Adam Warlock. So I didn't have enough of the miasma, and I got sick and tired of waiting. So instead, I brought Ebony, and Ebony Maw was decent. I mean, he does a lot of heal. I mean, he's okay. I would say he performed above average from my perspective, right? So nobody actually talked about bringing this guy up, but it was okay. He was decent. So yeah, semi recommend. Anybody else do I recommend? Well, guess what? Shuri's back, baby. She's amazing from my understanding. I have her at 6-7. I haven't upgraded any of the T4s at all. She's still at tier gear 13, so I don't know. I want to bring her up. I want to bring her up for the raids, right? The tech raids. So maybe I'll get her up before my third run through legendary node. So I think this is recommendation. What I'm trying to say is that, the long-winded way of saying it, I think everybody should look into investing in Shuri. And if you want T16 her, it might be worthwhile, right? Because this, what is this? Superior or Vibranium, Augmented Vibranium, I don't really know of other characters that you really want to use. So I think she's a very viable character to bring to T16 and DD5. Of course, Adam Warlock, it's amazing. He's an amazing character. If you have the mats, bring him as well. Omega Red, this was the MVP. Okay, outside of MILF, before MILF, my first DD5 run, it was all Omega Red, right? He was the best character. He was the MVP. But then my second time through, it was actually MLF, Morgan Le Fay. And my third time through, it's going to be the same team. Okay, I was going to say Dormammu, but he's not legendary. So I'll let you know how Dormammu does the third time through Global. So anyway, thanks so much. Probably like a 20-minute video. I rambled a bit, but like and subscribe. Hopefully this was useful for you. If not, leave me some comments and let me know which other characters that you used for DD5. Thanks again. Peace.